We are live. Welcome back to Transaction Care. My name is Lillian Hernandez, and this is Transaction Care. As you see, I'm just sitting here in my office getting some work done. And I figured let me go live, see who wants to join. But you guys can always watch this later at any given time. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them now or later. Let me get the mic situated there. But it's Monday, I released a podcast. What else? We are working on some future content for this YouTube channel, as well as content across all social media platforms. It's important that I stay on top of that because I've been really relaxed and honestly really complacent with the amount of content that I'm putting out there. And I think if I just take the time to do the work, like it says over there, do the work, create the content, answer you guys' questions that you may have, and just commit to that. I think, again, like I got really comfortable throughout this year in terms of my lack of production. And this year has been kind of slow in terms of closings and transactions. May was a really good month. I'm very grateful for that because that made up for some of the times, some of the months that were really quiet, really, really quiet. And I feel good moving forward. I've cleaned up a lot of my roster. I cleaned up a lot of my, just the people I'm working with. And because I wanted more time to create a better situation for myself that wasn't working with people I did not get along with or that I didn't align with, because that was starting to happen. And it was making my job miserable. So, and I'm at a point 20 years in where I just got a haircut. So I'm still getting used to it. It just dried from the shower. So I still haven't really put any product in it or whatnot. And I wish I could change the way that the camera was, because it's the opposite direction of what I'm looking at. Because this is my left hand, this is my right hand. Anyway, I'll have to figure that out later. I don't know what happened, but basically, I'm just here. It's Monday. We're checking in. Go check out the podcast. More content to come. My goal is to hit 4,000 watch hours on this platform by August 1st. That is a huge, huge, huge goal. But those are the types of challenges that I need to put on my plate, because again, I am currently very complacent with where I'm at, and everything I'm doing, there are no guarantees that anything would close, that anything will, you know, basically, yeah, that anything will close. So I have to challenge myself and create bigger goals in order for me to at least get the initial amount of work done that I need to get done. So that's what's happening here. I know I feel like I'm kind of rambling, and that's mostly because I'm trying to figure out this camera situation. I want to come on YouTube Live more often. I want to, I want to come on here more often, talk to you guys, find a time where more people can log in. So far, YouTube, people aren't showing up. People aren't watching the content, and I don't understand why. Maybe I need to fix my target audience. Maybe I need to figure out the type of content I actually want to put on this channel, because I've put so much on here that I'm like, maybe I've exhausted all my options. So it's time to switch it up. And I know people are working right now, so I don't think they have the time to come on here and watch a live stream. So if you're watching this as a replay, thank you. Definitely drop a comment in the comment section. I want to answer the questions and create content on topics that you guys want to learn about, and not just what I think you should be learning about. I had a very successful TikTok live the other day. So if you aren't following me there, please go follow me there. It's at Transaction Care. Same across all social media platforms. But ultimately, I just wanted to come on here and see what the vibe was. It's about, let me see, 1:45 p.m. on my end. So I want to see who's working at this time. If you have any questions, I'm trying to get back into the algorithm's good graces as well. But right now, I'm really just focused on presenting the right content in a way that isn't going to overwhelm me or prevent me from doing any type of content, because I get very overwhelmed easily. I self-sabotage, I avoid. So if I can just buckle down, create the content, get clear about what it is I'm working towards, I think that would help big time. It's everything I am coached on. It's everything I coach people on. So it's time I follow my own advice and guidance. So shout out to everyone here. Drop a comment. Let me know in the chat where you're coming from, where you're checking in from. We're just working. We're vibing, hanging out. I want to come on here and do more live sessions because it's easier than having to sit down and edit content, to be honest. But I also want to answer any questions you guys might have or any topics you want me to discuss. I'm working on content as we speak. I'm making my lists of things I want to talk about. But if there's something that I'm missing, please let me know. And if you haven't already, have you checked out today's podcast? The title is the Keys to a Productive Monday. Today being Monday, most of us dread it. Most of us hate it. Most of us are like, can we just have a 4-day work week? Others might love Mondays, are excited, have their clothes out ready and are set to go. But most of us, myself included, are more on the side of, I wish I could just make money without having to do everything that I'm doing to make the money. So in today's podcast episode, I pretty much broke down what has helped me to decrease some of that dread, which has helped me to relieve some of that pressure coming into Mondays. For example, I'll work on Sundays if I'm home. If I'm not doing anything, I will. I used to hate working on weekends. It would create so much. Working on the weekends would create so much resentment for me, to the point where, oh my God, it was terrible. But now that I work for myself, it would have saved me so much time if back in the day, if I would just put my ego, my pride aside and worked on Sundays. But now that I work for myself and I feel like I'm in a better place with those that I'm working with, as well as like the new projects I'm working on, the new services with my coaching that I'm working on. I feel like I'm still at the very beginning stages of all of it, but it's a good place where I still have the clarity and the hunger and the desire to work. So working on a Sunday, I don't work on Saturdays at all. That's my rule. It took a while for me to get comfortable with that because most of the time I'm home. So it's easy to just open the laptop, check a few emails, schedule some emails. But my rule is no working on Saturdays at all, even if I'm home. But that allows me to have one full day to reset, to be with myself, to be with family and friends, to go shopping, run errands, to catch up on my shows or watch a game, whatever the case may be. But Saturdays are my 100,000% off days. I do my best throughout the week to mitigate any emergencies, to do a lot of preventative work to make sure those situations don't happen. It's very rare that those do occur. But of course, if something were to happen, I would make myself available. But lately, because I don't have as many clients as I used to, and I don't take on coaching calls or anything, or go live on the weekends, Saturdays are 24 hours of anything I want to do, which is nice. And even the way I've saved my money, I spend my money, it all factors in how my days go. I got very fortunate with how much I saved, to where I didn't have to work as many hours when I was struggling, with my work, and how I wanted to, going into 20 years, I was like, I don't want to do this as much as I used to. What am I going to do next? And thankfully I had the savings, to cover some of those moments where I just didn't want to bring on new clients or even market myself. But I'm now in a place where I'm like, okay, we have to recoup that money. I do have some debt. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat that, or act like I don't have any debt, or that I'm like this millionaire, because I'm not. But my mindset is that of a millionaire. I think about all the ways I've kind of deprogrammed my mind to think about, and my mindset and views on work and ways to make money, legally, of course. But my perspective on the way society expects us to work, the way companies expect us to work, and having been self-employed now for 6 going on 7 years, it's like, why didn't, I wish I understood how to do this sooner, instead of learning it so late in my life. And I mean, I became self-employed when I was 32, actually, 33. So that is kind of young. I shouldn't, I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying, I think our lives would be a lot easier if we learned how to be self-sufficient, be self-employed, even if that's not the route you're going to take. It's like, it's such an important skill to have. And also learning how to quit a job. I think we would be much more confident, and in the places that, we, in the rooms, and in the jobs or in the businesses, a lot sooner, if we knew how to quit jobs at an early age. I think we're always taught how to get jobs, how to maintain and keep jobs, but I think a lot of us would benefit if we were taught how to quit, because that would go even for how to quit bad people, how to quit bad work or personal relationships. You know what I mean? Instead of thinking we have to stay, or there's always a way to work it out, when in actuality, nothing's working. So what is my exit plan? Right? So, and I think the same components can apply to business and personal. It's like, well, what's my money situation? What do I want to do next? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to live? Who do I want to surround myself with? Is it the job? Is it the department? Is it me? Is it them? Is it all of us combined? What else is out there for me? What do I need to heal? Do I need therapy? Do I need a coach? Do I need to go for a walk? I talk about that a lot. And I think a lot of that is more so a reflection on what I've been going through, and thinking about, like, younger me, having been at the same job for almost 15 years before I quit to be self-employed. I can't help but have a little bit of regret, because I stayed at the same job. I mean, there were gaps where I was part-time, full-time, laid off, part-time, full-time again, and then eventually quit. So I kind of went through the motions, and the roller coaster of several jobs just at one location. And, maybe some people will consider that lucky. I think with the work I've done on myself, I look back and think like, oh man, I was a lot stronger. I just didn't have, I was a strong person. I was, capable of doing everything I'm doing today. Back then, I just lacked a lot of the language and the resources in order to advocate for myself. So if you're in a situation right now where you're just unhappy with work, is it a matter of you need to quit? Is it a matter of taking some time off? Is it a matter of having a conversation with your manager? There's so many different ways that you can approach it, but you just have to take action. But shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to everyone here that's live. Let me know where you're checking in from. I want to see who's in here. If you're working, if you just have me playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear the music. I have my window open. It's a nice day outside, but I have my window open. And my neighbor downstairs owns a dog sitting business. And then my neighbors across the street are bumping their music, which is awesome. Or maybe it's the Amazon person. Either way, usually it's my neighbors or someone's car. And I'm not complaining because I love it. I love the diversity in my neighborhood. Oh, it was the Amazon person playing their music. But yeah, it's Monday. The podcast is out. The keys to a productive Monday. How is everyone's Monday going so far? Let me know if you've heard the podcast or not. I'll put the link in the chat for quick access. And you can actually go to my YouTube channel. It's there as well. The RSS feed is connected and automatically uploads to YouTube now, which I think is cool because I used to edit my podcast manually and then create a thumbnail and do all this stuff just so I can have the podcast on my YouTube. But now I don't have to do that, and it saved me so much time. But check it out. It's episode 58. There we go. And we're talking about having a productive Monday. Part of this second half of the year, again, the camera is inverted. So I'm still getting used to my hair being short again. So you see a bunch of these. Okay, wait, the camera's inverted. So I have to go opposite. This is my right. And I don't have any product in it. It just this is how it looks when it's dried and out of the shower. But I need to work on other ways to style it. So I'm still getting used to it. That's why I keep fidgeting with it. So my apologies for the intense amount of fidgeting I've been doing with my hair. But you see all the flyaways and stuff like that. But a part of the second half was cutting my hair. It was about here. Yeah, it was about here. So I cut a lot off. And I was like, that's the longest I want it to be for a while. And I just want to grow it out for the rest of the year. As I'm growing my business, kind of went through something similar right before I was quitting my job. My hair used to be behind, like all the way down to my butt. I chopped it off and I was like, I need a fresh start. I need a fresh perspective. I need a new look. So for me, right now, as I'm pivoting into more content creation, I don't know if I would consider myself a real estate influencer, but I definitely would consider myself a real estate content creator, small entrepreneur, small business content creator. And I'm having trouble figuring out who my target audience is, which I think that's what's causing my content to kind of fall flat, because I have some people that want to learn how to become a transaction coordinator. And then I have other people that just like to hang out and hear me talk. Then I have another group of people that are transaction coordinators and have all the experience and are just supporting because we're colleagues and friends in this community. And then I have the people that are ready to quit their jobs and are looking for a job and a career or a business where they can work from home. But then it's like the moment they find out how much work it takes and you're not going to get paid next week, you might not even get paid your first year. Many of them fall off or don't come back. So I'm currently trying to figure out who is my target audience? Who am I speaking to? what are their pain points, essentially just building my avatar. Like, is it a person? Is it a group of people? And really just, I always have trouble with my target audience and building that person out, because I always feel like it's never just one person. But at the same time, it distracts me when I'm trying to talk to multiple people. So if you're here in the live and you enjoy my content, what is it about my content that keeps you watching or keeps you engaged, or allows you to reach out and schedule like a one-on-one call? Oh, and then like the other audience is family and friends who are just supporting just the support. So I have to find a way to, or I have to really narrow down who it is, like the target audience, my demographic, the group of people that my content can provide value, can be a resource, but also find a way to make this, into a full-fledged business. And I think that's something I constantly struggle with, is like wanting to give everything for free, when in actuality, it's important to also charge for things as well. And it's okay. It's, my intention is always to help people, but sometimes that does that does come with a cost, and I have to be comfortable with that. So I'm figuring out the target audience. I'm figuring out my relationship with money and charging people and being okay with that, and finding also an affordable way for people to access time with me, outside of, shared live chats like this, or just my content, or just the podcast. And so far, the 90-minute sessions are great, which I do one-on-one. And I actually just changed the price. So it's like $90 for 90 minutes with me. And it can be split up into 2 sessions, 2 45-minute sessions, or 3 30-minute sessions throughout the month, or as long as you need it throughout the year. And I have found that those are more successful, because it's very intimidating even when I've sought out other coaches and was shopping around for other coaches. And at the end of the session, they're like, well, these are the plans I have. If you want to work with me for a year, it's going to be $10,000. If you want to work with me for 3 months, it's going to be $3,000. And you could pay it up front or in 2 payments. And I'm just like, dang, like, of course, when you find the right coach, it's worth it. You'll somehow find the money, but not everyone can do that. Not everyone has the ability to just find $10,000. You know what I mean? And I think back at when I was getting coached. Luckily, part of it is a tax write-off, so I can't complain in that sense. So some of it does come back to me, but I was spending like $12,000 a year. Thankfully, not up front. It was I had a monthly payment, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure it all out, like actively with you guys here on live. And is it group coaching people need? Is it more training videos here on YouTube? And the only way for me to know is if people tell me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep giving content that I think people need. But if no one's talking to me, or no one's emailing me, or commenting feedback, I'm not going to know. So yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's other days where I'm like on LinkedIn and Indeed.com, like, who's hiring? Or I also think about going back to college. That's an option that's on my potential for the fall, or maybe spring next year. I would like to finish my bachelor's, but I don't know yet. Excuse me. That would make for cool content. 40-year-old goes back to college. But I think it would be definitely I mean, I'm grateful to have the flexibility and the freedom to think about these things out loud and to not allow them to just be a passing dream or a passing idea. It's like I'm actively like able to just sit here and daydream and write my goals out, create vision boards, um, dream boldly. Because certain things in my life that occur, I'm just like, how did that happen? Like I had no money in my account, or maybe I had like $200 in my account, but somehow I got a free trip to Japan. Or I'm just out and about, and all of a sudden I'm in the same room as Prince. Yes, the singer Prince. That happened like a month before he passed away. So the way that I was brought up, or the way society tells us like this is how you do it, I can't help but challenge that or feel like, I don't know, I don't believe that, because I think some things are just meant to be when they are meant to be, whether you have the education or the experience or not. It's just a matter of like, are you going to accept it when it's in front of you, or am I going to run away from it? And I've done things with no experience. I've done things with all of the experience, and the payoff seems to be the same. If anything, I've done more with less money. I think because my attitude has been that of gratitude. I know that kind of sounds cliche, but we'll put that in the chat. Attitude of gratitude. It's like the moment I stopped complaining, the moment complaining was no longer my default setting. Because don't get me wrong, I'm still human. I'm pretty sure I complained on this live already about 10 times. But instead of that being my first thought, majority of the time, I keep wanting to press this eye because it's a little bit swollen, I think because of my allergies. But the moment I chose to lead with gratitude, whether it was as soon as I wake up, or if I'm struggling with something, I find things to be thankful for. I'm thankful for my YouTube. I'm thankful for the 2 people that are still in this live because it's showing me. I'm thankful for clothes, for a space in my home to create an office for myself. As you see, my background looks different from past videos. You know what I mean? So it's still a work in progress, but it's my work in progress. And I'm thankful to have a home. I'm thankful for my bills to be paid. It's again, gratitude. It really changes everything. And it's like, it's a difference of saying like, I have to work tomorrow, versus I'm so grateful I have a job that I get to go to, even when we hate it. I know it kind of sounds contradictory, but it's like, I'm grateful I get to go to work. I'm grateful I get to look for new jobs. I'm grateful I have the internet to grant me access to jobs all over the world. Because that's the other thing. You don't have to look for a job in your city. If you want to move, I could look for a job. If I want to go back to Japan, I can look for a job in Japan. Or because I work remotely, I can look for a home in Japan. It's when I started to believe that everything that, how do I phrase this? It's almost like an unlimited access to things when I really set my mind to it. Because of course, like I'm not going to go, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor tomorrow. No, I know that's not possible. But it's more so like, I don't have to wait for my blessings, or I don't have to wait for a certificate or a diploma or a raise to define my value or my success. I define that. I don't have to, I don't know, I just don't have to sit around and wait. So when I do sit around and wait or self-sabotage, that's on me. That's the work That's the work I need to do and work on myself. But I think, what am I trying to get at? Basically, like, okay, I got it. If you have dreams to travel the world, right? That's kind of a broad statement. Okay, where in the world do you want to travel? Okay, let's say, because I keep talking about Tokyo, Japan. I went there for my 40th birthday, so it's still kind of fresh. But let's say you want to go there, right? But what has been holding you back this entire time? Most likely money, or you can't take time away from work, or you're just not used to traveling or taking a vacation. Okay, right? So let's say you've moved on from those feelings of like, okay, you have 7 days to travel, and maybe you're in your mind, you're like, oh, that's not enough. It's more than enough. I went to Tokyo for 2 days. I got so much done. So that part is solved, right? And you have coverage for work. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't even have to bring your laptop or your work phone, any of that. You can just go and enjoy your day, your vacation. But what's holding you back is money. Okay, yes, that is true. Because I will say, if I had more money, my experience would have been a little different in Japan. But again, first class, stayed in a beautiful hotel. I think it was like a junior suite, and we didn't even pay that much money. What I'm getting at is, it may say that it costs maybe $10,000 for a trip like that. Well, what are some other ways that we can work around that? That's what I'm getting at, is everything is possible if you create some sort of action plan to achieve it. And it may not be on your timeline. It may not be exactly how you envisioned it. But if your goal is just to get to Tokyo, Japan, then that's easy. So you want to get more specific, right? So you maybe find out, who do you know at the airlines? Who do you know at the airlines? Who do you know at the cruise ship lines that can get you halfway there? Who do you know in the travel industry that works at hotels, car rentals, things like that, where maybe some of your trip will be discounted? Try to get a buddy pass. Maybe you love travel so much, maybe you're supposed to be working at the airport, or you're supposed to start a travel agency, or you're supposed to become a travel content creator, right? It's like thinking more unconventionally versus systematically, or what society tells us on how to think. Thinking outside of the box, and getting creative with it, and it almost becoming like this game of like, how can I make this happen, for myself, and just go after it. So I don't know. I hope I don't sound like I'm rambling, but I just really believe that everything is possible at some point in time in life, if you're serious about it, and if it's something that's meant for you, that speaks to you, that is in alignment with you. I truly do believe that we can attain these things in a matter of time. We just have to understand, like, what's blocking us, what's preventing us, and how can we remove some of these barriers, in due time. Some things you might be able to fix immediately, like a haircut. 1 hour of my day, I'm a whole new person. $60 later, I'm a whole new person, right? Or maybe you just need to move your office around, or move your bed around, buy new beddings. Little subtlest changes can make a world of a difference. And like, I know I need to go buy a paintbrush or order one for delivery. I don't know what I'll do, but I know once I add a final coat of white paint on these other walls, it's going to make me feel better. But when it comes to business, first of all, stay tuned. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be dropping more longer form content, probably like in the hour range of content, but it'll be broken up into chapters so it's easy to digest and watch. Preferably, I would like for people to just watch the whole hour through without taking breaks or taking notes, just so you can kind of get into the flow and understanding of what the subject matter is. And then tackle it chapter by chapter, because I feel like that's the easiest way for, and again, everyone learns differently, but I know when I consume something up front and then go back later and take smaller bites and portion control, portion out the information, and then then incorporate time management. Like, okay, I'm going to work on chapter 1 for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to work on chapter 2 for the 2 weeks after that. Oh, chapter 3 took me longer than usual, so let me spend the next month on that. Oh, chapter 4, I got done in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm aiming towards, is longer form content, more vlogs of like my day in the life outside of my desk. Like, come with me to go get coffee. I don't even drink coffee. Well, come with me to drink my first coffee. I don't know. Come with me to work out, because all of that, like how I feed myself, what the foods I'm consuming, the drinks I'm drinking, how fit I am. I'm 40 years old, and I made up in my mind. I was like, I do not want to be out of shape in my 40s. I don't want to be overweight in my 40s. I would say in the last 3 or 4 years, I would say easily since at least 2019. What's that, 5 years? Dang. In total, with fluctuation, I think I've lost about 30 pounds, at least 30 pounds. But this is the most consistent I've been, because my mind and my body finally met in the middle. Whereas before, like, my mind would be all about it, but my habits would be a different story. Or my habits would be great, but my mind was like in the dumps. Whereas like now, all of the work I've put in over the last 4 or 5 years, it's finally clicking. And turning 40 just put that stamp on it. So I'm working out more, playing tennis, playing basketball. I want to go to the golf range. And of course I bring my laptop everywhere I go, just in case. But the beauty of it all is, the work gets done no matter where I'm at. One of the companies I work with that I'm contracted with, they built their own app, and their selling point, or one of their selling points, was, we built this app because if you're in the line at Disneyland, you can write contracts while you're in line at Disneyland. You can, close deals while you're buying a churro, or, whatever the case may be, which to me is still cool. Like, the concept of being able to work from home is such a beautiful thing. And if you have a skill, whether it relates to the job you're doing or outside of the work you're doing, or maybe you want to learn a new skill, document it. Pick one place. Personally, I say YouTube, and just create a channel around it of like documenting your life. One thing I just want to do more is take content creation serious, and just be that full-time content creator and advocate for myself, and teacher and guide, and a resource for all those coming up behind me, or who are new to the game, or realtors that want to be transaction coordinators, or transaction coordinators that want to be realtors. It takes a lot to get done, but having that community base around you, or that person or those people in your corner to uplift you and encourage you along the way is great. Or if I do decide to embark in in something, I have old footage of where I was at, when I had the short hair at 40 years old, or when I had longer hair. It's all documented. And once this eventually starts to pick up, the subscribers grow, or, it becomes monetized. Because that's the other thing. I'm like, if Google pays me, then I don't have to charge people as much money for services. But I know that's on me to invest and put in the time and effort to make that happen. So I'm doing it. But it's cool to come on here. I can't believe 40 minutes has gone by already of me just talking. I wish whoever is in this live would just drop a quick comment so I can show some love, shout you out, just say hi. Hi. It's all right. But as we wrap up this live session, shout out to everyone that will watch the replay. Shout out to everyone here now, wherever you are tuned in from, whoever you are. Shout out to the two of you that remain standing. Respect and love to you all. I hope everything that you are working on, have in the works, or coming up is fruitful and, overflows in abundance financially. All of it. So I think that's all I have, but I need to go work on my avatar. Stay tuned for more long form content similar to this live, but more organized and more. Oh, thank you. I want to pronounce your name correctly. Asaya? Asia? Asaya? 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 Asiya. Awesome. Beautiful name. And thank you for commenting. I appreciate that. It's good to know. It's good to know who I'm talking to, because I could just talk, but I want to also just make sure I'm talking, about things you want to learn about or answer any questions that you may have. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. If you don't know what question to ask, that's okay too. You know where to find me in the event that something comes, comes to your mind at any given time. You can just comment. You can just comment on a post or email me, because I'm here to help. But again, okay, cool. See, this is what I need. I need the feedback. So you love the lives. What are you what time zone are you in? Because on TikTok I go live in the evening, but with YouTube I want to try doing like a 1 p.m. Live session. So that would be like 4 p.m. your time. So if that works, I'll just log in. Granted I don't have a meeting or anything, but I'll log in like around 3 or let me see, that would be, I'll play with the times, but probably like a 12 or 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I'm in San Francisco. So that would be 3 or 4 p.m. your time. But thank you for the feedback, because doing the live sessions, again, it's less work on my plate to do, and when it comes to creating content, because I can also answer whatever questions you guys have, or if you just want to listen to me talk in the background, that's fine too. I know that's right. And I'm gonna be patient, because it may say 1 or 2 people, but I look at that as like 1,000, 2,000 people. So I'm gonna just keep talking as if the room was that many. And even if I was in a room with just 1 or 2 people, that's enough for me, because the impact we can have on each other goes a long way. The ripple effects of it all. I will. This was just like kind of like testing the waters. I wanted to see who was online. We had a pretty good, decent number at one point. of people here on the live, so I appreciate that. So I think I'm going to commit to, yeah, I'll post it on my social media and on here on YouTube as well once I commit to a time. I just have to look at my schedule, but I think for this week, I think what I'll do is Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll go live on YouTube in the afternoon, and then Wednesday evenings, like after hours, after work, I'll go live on TikTok because that's a good time over there. People buy roses and send me gifts, and that it's money on TikTok, so I can't abandon that. I made $2 off my live last time. So I can't block my blessings there, but I do like going live. I like being accessible to people. I wish YouTube had some sort of, yeah, $2. I would have been scrolling anyway, mindlessly, not even remembering anything I looked at. So the fact that I got on randomly and just started talking to people just like you right now, and they were generous to send me gifts. I don't know if you're familiar with TikTok, but you see those people that are like, thank you for the rose, thank you for the gifts. I get it now. I totally understand why they say it like that, or why they get so excited, because I was not expecting that. It was kind of it was exciting, but I do like going live here on YouTube as well. So I think this will be the afternoon live, maybe like Mondays and Tuesdays, and then stay tuned for the times when I announce those. Meaning I'll come back on live tomorrow around the same time and then redo it every Monday and Tuesday. Because I'm looking at my schedule. I think that works best is YouTube live every Monday and Tuesday, and then TikTok live every Wednesday evening. So last time I went live at like 7 p.m. and people were on with me till like 10 o'clock. And they were 10 and 11 o'clock Eastern time. So I want to do it a little earlier so people aren't up too late, but I will definitely be going live here on YouTube a lot more. Probably give you guys like a behind the scenes of like maybe me recording the podcast or creating content or getting feedback from what you guys want me to talk about in the next YouTube video. Or like I said, day in the life content where I'm outside working out or outside getting something to eat, lunch, where it isn't just all work based. You know what I mean? Because we're all human. We do things outside of work. And I think that's all a part of like our mental health and taking care of ourselves. Is like, if I just sat at my desk all day, I'd drive myself crazy. I know, right? Let's do this. I'm excited for all of us because, you know, we're, like you said, we're a tribe, we're a community, and we are small but mighty. And the more we uplift and encourage each other and just show up, and if I'm that person that can, be that flicker of inspiration in your life, then so be it. Because as a result, I'm not only helping myself, but I'm able to help others who I may not even be aware of. But shout out to everyone here in the live. It may say 4 people, but in my mind, I'm talking to you guys like it's 4,000 people in this room, and I'm pumped. So I think I've committed to it. Monday, Tuesdays, YouTube live, and I'll keep experimenting with the times. But for now, expect like for me, like a 12 p.m., 1 o'clock. So that would be 3 or 4 p.m. East Coast time. And then Wednesdays will be the nighttime for those that work. Midweek is usually like the busiest time of the week. And when people are struggling or maybe, or they're just lonely, because being self-employed and working from home by yourself too, you don't really I don't have any coworkers to my left or right. So if I can come on live and it feels like I have people to work with, that's cool too. Or if they can, if I'm the person that can help them feel less isolated or less alone in their workday, then we can help each other in that sense and encourage. I said up courage. That could be a thing too, up courage. Um, but I'll stay on here for another few minutes if you have any questions or if you have any content, things that we can do. I'm trying to think of like more creative ways to um, present the ideas I have to you guys. But sometimes it's just a matter of me talking in front of a camera and uploading it and not overthinking it, because that's one thing I am excellent at. If overthinking paid, I would be a top producer. I'll tell you that much. Because I have overthunk myself out of so many projects and ideas. It's ridiculous. I'm fed up. I'm at a point where I'm over me. And I have to remind myself. I go through this every year. Like, you're overthinking again. Stop. Just hit record, barely edit it, and just post it. It's not like I'm saying anything controversial or ridiculous. So if anyone was to come for me, it'd probably be for maybe I stuttered too much, or I don't know, something. But either way, when it comes to, if I want to be a full-time content creator, then I got to push out the content. And if that means I have to go live and sit here for an hour with my people and talk to them and answer any questions that they have, or encourage them or uplift them, because that's the other thing. You may not have any questions, but maybe you just need some encouragement or a book recommendation or bank recommendations. I used to belong to a business group a couple years ago, and I was like, what do you guys recommend, an online bank or a physical bank? And we talked about pros and cons about that, and I ended up going with Chase Bank for my business, because my mentor at the time made a good point. She was like, well, what if you're excuse me, what if you're out of town or it's the weekend and you need to access your money and your online bank account is inaccessible or something, and it's just good to have that physical location. And the thing about opening a business account is, I'm not bringing in like thousands and thousands or millions of dollars to this bank account, but they treat me as if I am, which I love and appreciate, and this is not an ad for Chase Bank at all. It just is who I work with, because I've had experiences with other banks that I did not enjoy, Wells Fargo, and Chase right now is who I'm with. But it helps, like if you're struggling like with how to price your business or things like that, that's what these sessions can help with. But I think I'll present these live sessions a little bit more, have some topics. So I'm not just kind of freestyling and riffing off of the top of my head, because that is stressful. Don't get me wrong. But I can do it. I'm almost 55 minutes into just freestyling right now. I'm not, my throat is kind of dry. I don't know how singers do this. I think I need to learn how to talk. But I get why they lose their voices mid-concert. But yeah, so today, for the rest of my day, I've been working on this training video that I want to put here on YouTube. Just kind of answering all of the frequently asked questions I get when I do discovery calls for my coaching business. Everyone asks the same exact questions. So I figured if I just create the content ahead of time, we can just skip to the actual like real matters that need to be handled or addressed, which is usually like our mindset or our habits. And that's where the coaching really comes into play. And that's what coaching has done for me, for sure. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with a coach. Well, a good coach, because anyone can be a coach. Anyone can help you along the way, but not everyone's going to do a good job, and not everyone's going to be an inspiration to motivate you to get the work done. Because one thing coaches don't do is they don't do the work for you. They get the answers out of you, though. And that was something my coach was really good at, was remembering and recognizing my habits and my patterns, and also addressing them anytime I was self-sabotaging or I'm a serial avoider. That is my number one self-saboteur. I will avoid. And even going to therapy, talking about that, showed me a lot of my blind spots, which is why even going live, I'm able to ask you guys, well, what do you guys like? And boom, ASEO was like, live, go live, done. Done. But again, I'm trying to work on healing, any flaws that I have, or at least bring attention to the areas where I need to improve, and also taking the information and the knowledge and the resources that I have, especially in the 20 years that I've worked in real estate. I may not have had every job, but I definitely have had my hand in different parts of this job, of this industry, and find ways to give that back to you all in a way that would catapult, or at least help you skip a few steps in a few areas of struggle that I had to go through along the way, just to help make your job and your day easier and your journey easier. But yeah, who else is in here? Drop a comment. There's like 4 million of you guys in here. Let me know where you guys are from. Are you on the East Coast, the West Coast? Do you work in real estate? Or are you a student? Are you trying to quit your job and get into real estate? Or do you work in real estate and want nothing to do with it, and you're over it and you're ready to just quit and start something fresh? Or do you want to be a full-time content creator like myself that eventually will get paid to do this all day and talk to people and help them and share my journey, share my stories and my experience to hopefully inspire and encourage and uplift the next person? But I know before I can do any of that, I have to work on my customer avatar, which I hate doing. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Building a customer avatar to me is like watching paint dry. And I know it's a huge part of building a business. Excuse me. I had this cut on my hand, and again, I'm fidgeting and I'm avoiding what I actually have to do by talking about a cut. Avoider. Yeah, but building customer avatars, I think I've built so many. I've created so many. And let me know if you guys know what that is, or if you don't know what a customer avatar is. I can talk about it. But basically, figuring out who my target audience is, I think I don't like it because it's not quick. And that's one thing I've learned about myself over the years is I would always describe yourself. I'd always tell people I was patient. I always thought being patient was my biggest asset. And the older I got, the less patient I got. And I was like, oh my God, all of these years, I was never patient. I just always, or most of the time, just took shortcuts, or never really challenged myself to go to the next level of things. So this go round, I'm actively working on overcoming that, and like challenging myself and pushing myself to not just go for 200 subscribers, but to go for 2,000 subscribers. And what does that look like in terms of work? What does that look like in terms of investing time and money and effort and action, instead of just sitting around waiting for something to happen? I have to put in the work. I have to put in the time. And if that means sitting here on live for an hour or 2 hours or 8 hours, I'm going to do it. Because these 4,000 watch hours aren't going to watch themselves. But shout out to everyone here. I appreciate you guys. Let's see, what time is it now? This seems like, I would say, yeah, I think 2 o'clock is like a happy medium, because that's where I got the most engagement. So we got it. 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Monday and Tuesday live sessions. So let me write that down. So 2 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. EST, TC, YouTube live Mondays and Tuesdays in June. So I'll make some flyers. I'll make some content to promote that. But come back tomorrow at that time, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then I think is it 4 p.m. Central? Let's see, what time is it Central right now? Yeah, so Central, I believe, is 2 hours ahead. So that would be 4 p.m. Central. And we'll do this again. If there's something you guys want to talk about, again, drop the comments. I'm trying to think of what tomorrow. It's been nice outside, so maybe we'll go for a walk tomorrow, or we'll hang out at the park while I do this live. But or otherwise, you'll just see me here at my desk. And hopefully my customer avatar will be done by tomorrow. I'm here saying it on live. I'm holding myself to it. I think my other issue is I had too many customer avatars. Like, I had one for my podcast, my TC business, my coaching business. And when in actuality, it's like all of that is the same. And I'm no longer taking on transaction coordinator business unless it's absolutely worth it and they are located in San Francisco. I refuse to work with East Bay agents, South Bay agents. They are not the best. They don't like to do a majority of their job. But anyway, that's a whole separate topic. But for now, gosh, I can't believe I was on here for an hour. Again, who is here? Show yourself. I see 3 million people are here tuned in. I might know one of them already. We've been chatting. Who are the other 2? I know it's not myself, because that's one thing YouTube won't do, is they won't count yourself as someone in the live. But I like it. So we're going to go live 3 days a week. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. We're going to go live 3 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Oh, no, I'm not going to say that until it actually happens. Yeah. Just stay tuned for some random live surprises. I just have to show up for myself first before I start introducing other elements to this. This is the other thing is I will avoid and overthink my way out of a project. But then on the flip side, I will spring into action and then have way too many ideas and get ahead of myself and forget that all it takes is that I have to take that first step. I have to initiate that first step when my mind is already at step 20. So I found, you guys saw this live here. You saw me go from overthink to no plan to a plan to skipping step 1 and already trying to get to step 20. Step 1, show up again tomorrow for the next live session. So I'm going to go on Canva and create some content to promote that. So, and see, maybe I was skipping steps again. But I'll say that one. Maybe I'll have other TCs try to join me on live. That's not a guarantee, but it's just an idea that I had in my brain right now. But for now, you're just going to get a whole hour at minimum of me on live. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll be back. And then again on Wednesday night. So YouTube will be the afternoon, early evening. And then TikTok on Wednesdays will be later in the evening / night. When the pressure's off, emails are off, out of the office, do not disturbs are on, and we could just chill, we can vent, we can celebrate our wins. And if you do come back for the live tomorrow, bring some wins in the chat, W's in the chat. I hear people on Twitch saying that all the time, so I just wanted to say it one time. W's in the chat. I'm gonna put a W in my own chat. But stay tuned. Again, we are growing, we are strong, we are small but mighty. There's 200,000 people in this chat right now in this live. Shout out to all 200,000 of you. I respect you. I appreciate you. And come back tomorrow. Turn your notifications on. Hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already. And my name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily like the flower because we are learning and growing together. And this is Transaction Care. It's the name of my business. And the logo is a bit crooked. I noticed that when I got these t-shirts a long time ago, so I wasn't able to ever sell them. But if you want a free t-shirt, send me your address. I'll send you a free t-shirt with your size. No charge. You just have to DM me your name and address. If you want a free t-shirt, I have a few left. I keep a lot of them because it's quick and easy for me. I went to private school, so having a uniform I was a lot more productive because I had less to think about, and having to impress people with my outfits. So I'm used to that. But if you want a free t-shirt and it says care for yourself, I hope you guys could see that. But it says care for yourself, care for your wealth on the back, and Transaction Care on the front. But it's a good quality t-shirt. Some of them I'll cut the sleeves off, so when I work out, or I'll crop them because just depending on your height, they could be kind of long. But stay tuned. Transaction Care, my podcast. I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon. If you need to reach out to me, email tc@transactioncare.com. Thank you guys so much again for being with me for a whole hour plus. You guys rock. Talk soon. Peace out. And come back tomorrow.